Joining us this morning is former presidential advisor for political affairs, Ronal Llamas, for his analysis on the latest developments in the impeachment complaints against the VP. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Danny. My first time with you as host dito sa Morning Matters.
Actually, no? Well, very happy to have you with us this morning, sir. Let's talk about this next step in the impeachment process, no? So, sufficient in substance, how significant is this step? And also, what do you expect the VP to be doing at this point? So far, she's been silent, but now she has 10 days to respond.
Well, first of all, nabanggit ko na to sa mga several episodes sa inyong network that the impeachment will proceed. It will pass sa Justice Committee and most probably it will pass sa voting sa plenary and get one-third of its members para yung impeachment ay umakyat na sa Senate. No? Ikalawa ay itong medyo mahalaga yung ginawa ng Justice Committee na tinanggal na or pinayagang tanggalin yung first at saka second impeachment para walang magamit si Sara Duterte na mga technicalities again para mag-file ng TRO sa Supreme Court. Kaya ang focus nila ngayon ay yung technically as well as substantially very strong yung third at saka fourth impeachment. Third ay magkakaroon ng parang semi or small trial sa Justice Committee as proposed ng Supreme Court decision last year. Pinatay nila yung impeachment ni Sara Duterte. So may mga ebidensya na ilalabas sa Justice Committee in the next few days. Ngayon, ano yung ebidensya na yan? May bago ba dyan? Malamang meron. Dahil sa third at fourth impeachment, nakalagay doon yung usapin ng SALN. So kung nakalagay din yung usapin ng SALN, then they may have to open her bank accounts. At yun yung matagal nang sinasabi nung guest nyo dito earlier na Senator Trillanes. Itong mga bank accounts na ito ay very anomalous. So kung lalabas sa bank accounts niya na ito ay anomalous, nanggaling ito sa mga drug lords or pogo lords in huge amounts. As Senator Trillanes has consistently said this past few years, then that might be a game changer dito sa impeachment, hindi lang sa House, kung hindi sa public as well as sa Senate.
Ano yung defense niya that she can still put within these 10 days? Is it a defense against the trial to proceed? Wala namang evidence na mabibigay at this point, right? Or counter-evidence for this matter. So it's just a reaction, tama ba?
Well, katulad nung previous impeachment, ay sasabihin niya na wala akong kinakatakutan sa impeachment, let it go. Pero at the same time, iko-contradict niya yung sinabi niya and file a case sa Supreme Court para pigilan yung impeachment. Pero this time, baka wala na siyang masyadong basis or technical basis para pigilan yung impeachment.
What could she possibly put there, sir? Like what can stop this process now from going, now that the wheels are turning?
Well, again, yung Supreme Court ay katulad ng last impeachment, ay gumawa ng judicial overreach. Ibig sabihin, nakialam sila sa isang co-equal branch of government. Dahil sila yung Supreme Court They're very supreme. Pwede pa rin nilang gawin yon. Kahit yon ay labag sa ating constitutional system. No? Pwede pa rin nilang gawin yon. Pero I doubt kung gagawin nila yon this time. Dahil even yung kanilang decision na judicial overreach ay sinusunod na ngayon ng House. No? Kaya I doubt kung merong basis, just in case.
What does that tell you that the House, or at least one-third of the House, no, not the entire House, but the minimum required, has actually pushed for this impeachment trial to go on, regardless of the fact that she has just announced her bid for presidency and malaki pa rin ang suporta sa kanya. She might be the next sitting president. Walang nag-shift ng loyalties dito sa House?
Well, syempre, yung bumoto last time na marami naman doon, wala na ngayon sa Congress, yung 260
Okay.
votes sa Congress, most probably hindi mangyayari. Pero yung one-third mo lang naman is about 105, 106. Yung
Okay.
bumoto sa Justice Committee na sufficient in form and substance, itong third at saka fourth impeachment complaints, ay dadagdagan mo na lang ng another 52 para ma-reach yung one-third. Katulad ng sinabi ko dito sa Morning Matters before, ay very doable yung one-third. At itong botohan yesterday is proof of that. Dahil 54 na yung bumoto eh. So 52 na lang yung kakailanganin mo. No? Kaya mas naging doable yung sinasabi ko before na one-third sa House para ma-impeach si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Okay. Sir, let's go back to what she is even being impeached for, no? Plunder, malversion, graft, corruption, and then you have this 612 million peso confidential funds that is difficult to be tracing, death threats to the president and his wife, and 125 million of appropriated funds for personal gain. Give us an idea, is this strong enough for the case? Let's kick off with the fact na mabubuksan ba talaga ang bank accounts, and is this already something that can be done right now already? How much proof is needed to show this, especially since there are so many investigations into anomalous funds going on with the flood control scandal, corruption everywhere, no? So people at large also right now, magagawan ba ng kaso tong confidential funds that happened several years ago?
Of course, Danny, the proof has always been there. Even yung Commission on Audit natin ay naglabas na ng mga pruweba dito. So, it doesn't matter kung nangyari ito before the flood control scandal. Ang mahalaga ay meron bang ginawang mga anomalies ang Vice President. So, 120 million na ginastos niya in 11 days. Yung mga na-discovery ng COA sa Department of Education in the hundreds of millions, no, yung hindi ko alam kung kasama diyan yung testimony ni Las Cañas na tetestigo sa International Criminal Court na si Sara ay yung reyna ng Tokhang sa Davao dati pa, no? At saka yung iba pang mga almawa, yung kanyang grave threat sa presidente, very public yun. Although sinabi niya na hindi yun seryoso, in-emphasize pa niya na hindi ito joke yung kanyang threat sa presidente at sa kanyang pamilya. So, very compelling at very definite yung evidence. Hindi lang siya nagamit dahil pinatay ng Supreme Court at ni Senate President Chis Escudero yung impeachment last year. Pero the evidence, hindi naman nagbago eh. Itong bank account ay posibleng madagdag dahil doon sa usapin SALN. Paano kung i-check
Pero
mo yung
hindi
kanyang
ba po,
talent?
doesn't she need to be first convicted of these crimes before she can be impeached? So hindi ba
Hindi.
mahaba pa ang proseso na yon? Hindi. Just the fact that these are there
She cannot be
is enough.
convicted because she cannot be convicted dahil impeachable person siya. So kaya nga ang ginamit laban sa kanya is impeachment dahil hindi siya pwedeng makonvict. Hindi siya pwedeng makasuhan. Yeah.
Okay.
Kaya
So,
kung pwede kasi dapat yun na lang ang ginamit, hindi na impeachment. No?
Okay.
Kaya impeachment ang ginamit dahil hindi pwedeng mangyari yun.
and this could also be the case if she wins as president, so she will have the next entire 6 years to not have any case filed against her, tama ba? Except impeachment na lang yung recourse.
Oh, except impeachment. As vice president or president, impeachment lang ang pwede.
Wala lang. Okay, so yan na lang ang final recourse. Let's discuss that death threats, which is still being debated, even as recently as the other day, no? That these could just be, as with the defense of her father, hyperbole or statements that were not meant. To what extent can the court use these as grounds for impeachment? the statements that she made and death threats against the president? Is there a strong enough course?
Definitely magagamit yan. Sa International Criminal Court nga, ginagamit na yan ngayon eh. Kung hindi yan pwedeng isustain na hyperbole. Dahil mataas kang tao eh. You're the second, you have the second highest, most powerful position in the country. You're the first beneficiary kung mamamatay yung presidente na tinetereten mo. Ikatlo, ay may capability kayo dahil nga sa nangyaring tokhang na crimes against humanity. Ibig sabihin, from all angles, ay pwede kang kasuhan ng impeachment dahil do sa iyong mga threats. Dahil yung mga threats mo na grave, no? Yung threats mismo ay isang krimen, ay among others, no? Dahil hindi lang naman yan yung kasama sa articles of impeachment. Pero yan ay seryoso. Dahil nga kaya mong gawin as the second most powerful person and as the beneficiary of the threat. No? As beneficiary at record mo na nagawa yan ng iyong pamilya.
Okay. Sir, what happens to in the next step, no? Kung mai-impeach man siya, I mean, there's only how many more years before the next administration. So what is the point? Why do we need to...
Then banned siya from any elective position. Kahit barangay councilor. Hindi na siya pwedeng tumakbo. No?
Oh, is that clear? Because I've been asking that question, and will she be banned from filing candidacy after that, immediately?
Yes.
Okay. For how long? Forever?
Lifetime.
Because
forever. That's a lifetime na hindi siya pwedeng tumakbo.
We have seen cases filed against even the highest people in our land, no? Former President Estrada, former President Macapagal Arroyo, and they returned to power at some point in time.
Because the impeachment failed. Hindi sila na-impeach eh. No? Kaya nga yung kay Erap Estrada na-trigger yung people power dahil hindi siya na-impeach. Si Arroyo, never siya na-impeach. Never umabot sa Senate.
Interesting. Okay, and this is something that they knowingly did, no? So that they could actually have a chance to return to power.
Yes. Ang na-impeach lang successfully ay alam ko si Ombudsman Merceditas at saka si Chief Justice Corona. Yun talaga na-convict sila. Paano meron kang impeachment sa House dahil meron kang trial sa Senate? Trial sa Senate, pag na-convict ka, hindi ka na pwedeng tumakbo in any elective position. Si Sara lang naman ang together with Erap Estrada and Corona ang umabot sa Senate. Pero si Estrada ay hindi na impeach, hindi na convict.
Interesting. So, do you anticipate na VP could actually resign before this impeachment happens?
Yes, pwede siya mag-resign. Pero meron pwedeng ituloy ng Senate yung hearing para i-ban siya from elective office.
Has that happened before? If it couldn't happen with the former presidents?
Pero hindi pa siya nangyari dahil ito yung first time eh. Kung sakali na merong executive na may impeach. Yung naging successful lang na impeachment ay yung ombudsman at saka yung chief justice. So ito yung first time na mangyayari na isang elective officer, the highest, can be convicted. Ito yung first time. Pero malinaw dyan yung rules.
Pero for that to be able to happen, it needs to be happening quite quickly, no? Because she can resign at any time as VP and then file her candidacy. And then once that period is lapsed, wala na pong magagawa ang Senado, no? To withdraw that candidacy. Or pwede pa ba?
Yung filing ng candidacy, may date yan eh. Nangyayari yan sa 2027 pa.
Correct, yes.
Impeachment ay mangyayari sa 2026. Kung ang magiging record mo ay yung mga na previous impeachment, mabilis yan. 2 to 3 months. No? 2 to 3 months. 3 months at most. No? At sabi ko nga, kahit siya ay mag-resign, no? Ibig sabihin, hindi siya matatanggal as Vice President, pwede pa rin ituloy ng Senado yung trial, hindi para tanggalin siya, as Vice President kung hindi para pigilan siyang tumakbo for any elective position in the future.
Do you
Kung
feel that this
mapatunayan
is
na gawa nga niya yung mga kasalanan na yun.
okay? And do you sense that this is something that could really happen to
Of
ban
course,
her from her?
because
Okay,
it's not-
and
it's
this is
now
the
an-
sentiment of the House.
The House, no? The Senate is a different thing. Dahil sa House, 1/3 lang ang kailangan mo eh. Sa Senate, ang kailangan mo 2/3. And for now, the majority doesn't have the 2/3. So medyo matindi yung labanan sa Senate.
Interesting.
Very,
Okay.
very intense yan. Dahil nga, wala yung numbers for now.
Okay. Sino po ang magiging VP kung ma-impeach si VP? Ano po
Well,
yung
depende sa
mangyayaring
kwan.
transition ng... Sorry?
Depende sa presidente, Danny. Siya yung mag-a-appoint eh. No, pwedeng galing yan sa Senado, pwedeng manggaling yan sa Kongreso, theoretically. Pero yung presidente magkukan kung sino yung papalit sa Vice President.
Okay. Let's shift gears for 1 second, and I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on the anti-political dynasty bill that's now being discussed, no? Sinasabi po ng mga analysts na medyo watered down na yung final version, which was the one that they consolidated the 25, and now it's the one of Speaker Boji D that's being pushed. And in this version, you can still have quote-unquote dynasty from different levels in the political sphere. Your thoughts on that? Effective ba yan? Is that a good first step at least, since this has been debated since the Constitution, tas hindi na nangyayari?
Hindi siya watered down, Danny. Hindi siya watered down anti-dynasty bill. It's a
Okay.
pro-dynasty bill.
Okay, wow.
It institutionalizes dynasties. So, it's an insult dun sa mga proponent ng anti-dynasty law. No? Kaya katulad nila Congresswoman Laila de Lima, Congressman Percy Sendanya, Congresswoman Dada, Congresswoman Kakabag-Aw, etc. Kaya
Okay.
winidraw nila yung co-authorship nila rito. Pero ang mahalaga, iba yung bill ng Senate. Mas may laman yung bill ng Senate. Hindi naman maaaprubahan yan nang walang participation ng Senate. So, obserbahan natin what will be the compromise bill sa bicameral. Sa
Okay.
bicam ng Senate at saka House. Definitely, ang alam ko, ang mga nakukuha kong impormasyon, mismo yung Malacanang, hindi masaya dyan sa
Okay.
bill na yan ng House.
Okay, so marami pang steps, hindi pa naman yan ang final. So medyo may deliberations pa
Tagal
naman.
yan. Baka mauna pa
Alright.
yung impeachment, Danny.
Well, let's watch out for that. Maraming salamat po for guesting on our show this morning, political pundit Ronal Llamas. Thank you, sir.
Salamat din, Danny.